This video is going to overview how to use ChemCollective, a virtual lab online tool. Virtual laboratories can be used in a variety of subjects to help students perform and analyze experiments without needing expensive equipment and lab space. ChemCollective is a collection of virtual labs, scenario-based learning activities, tutorials, and concept tests. It's a free online tool developed by the Carnegie Mellon faculty. Consider a college freshman that's taking a chemistry class for the first time since high school. She keeps up relatively well in lecture, but when it comes to lab, she struggles a bit, having difficulty understanding how experiments should turn out or drawing conclusions based on the results she gets in lab. They frequently talk with the TA, but with such a large class of students, she isn't getting the help she needs to understand the lab experiments each week. She needs a tool that can help her review similar experiments to see step by step what occurs. ChemCollective could be useful in this scenario. When you navigate to the ChemCollective website, you can explore resources by topic, including stoichiometry or equilibrium. If you want to explore a variety of topics with just using specific tool types, you can explore resources by type, going directly to virtual labs, auto-graded problems, or even lecture tutorials. Let's say, for example, this student needs help with equilibrium. Here you can see there are other concepts broken down under equilibrium. Within each concept, you can see concept tests, scenario-based activities, which you can perform in the virtual lab, various tutorials, which can give you different lectures, and virtual labs that help you explore safely. Let's start by looking at a virtual lab scenario for equilibrium. Here you can see the virtual lab stockroom. To load in any experiment, you just go to File, Load an Assignment. Here we can go underneath chemical equilibrium and load this cobalt experiment. Once you're inside a virtual lab workbench, you can see the stockroom on the left. This gives you a list of solutions, glassware, and various tools to use within your experiment. When you click on the lab name in the upper right corner, you will see the objective, background, and assignment of the lab. The objective of this lab is to gain an understanding of Le Chatelier's principle of equilibrium through observing the effect of messing with the equilibrium distribution of various cobalt complexes. Skipping through some of the actual chem content, since that's not the topic of this video, I'm just going to start performing the experiment to show you how the virtual lab works. The first step of this experiment is to add 25 milliliters of a solution to an empty Erlenmeyer flask. You navigate to glassware and choose the flask that you want, and it immediately shows up in your workbench. Navigating back to solutions, I can also choose the solution I want, which shows up on your workbench as well. In order to fill my flask with this cobalt solution, click and drag the solution onto your flask and choose what volume you want in milliliters. Now that that's done, I can continue to the next step of the lab. Going back to the stockroom, I'm going to grab hydrochloric acid and add it to this flask in 1 milliliter increments. As you can see, as I add this acid to the flask, there's a noticeable color change, and it's gotten darker from before. If I neutralize the solution with silver nitrate, adding it in 1 milliliter increments as well, I can neutralize that cobalt solution and reverse the color change.